D2 Word Life here with Rip 33.5% Scott Steiner Math Tides.
I'm very sorry, but that is not completely true. You take your 33.25% chance of not liking Scott Steiner, then you add another 167% chance that you get disappointed in your life.
What the hell is that even supposed to mean?
Steiner math!
We all know you're a graduate of Steiner's math class. We get it.
Yes, I'm a PhD in Steiner math.
No wonder you failed math in high school. Anyway. Today we are reviewing TNA Sacrifice 2008, which took place on May 11th, 2008, which, May 11th, that's my birthday, for any of you wondering about that. Took place in Orlando, Florida, at the TNA Impact Zone with an attendance of 900 filling out that building. And the commentators for this event was Mike Tenay, Don West, and Frank Trigg, who was only the guest commentator for the main event triple threat. Right.
Yeah.
And the ring announcers were David Pinzer and Jeremy Borash. Jeremy Borash, I believe, was the ring announcer for the main event as well, only for this event.
Jeremy Borash was the ring announcer for every fucking thing.
Shit, he was also one of the backstage interviewers, I believe.
Yes, he did a lot of shit.
Yeah. So yeah, and then after the opening video hyping up the event, we get breaking news that Kurt Angle will not be competing in the triple threat main event, considering it was around this time he broke his neck during a TNA live event of sorts, right before the show. Right.
Yeah, he was performing in Costa Rica or Taiwan, somewhere around there.
The opening of the show, everyone assumed it was just going to be Steiner versus Samoa Joe in a singles match, but we'll come back to that later. Right?
Yeah.
And of course, we had the Deuces Wild Tag Team Tournament quarterfinal matches that opened up the show, where the winners of this little tournament from this show would freaking be the new TNA Tag Team Champions, since the titles were vacated. But when Styles and Eric Young had them, but then Super Eric made the pinfall win, and the titles were vacant, considering Eric Young was like, nope, I'm not Super Eric. Or was it vice versa? I don't know.
Eric Young was both Super Eric and him, and they decided to vacate the titles because of that.
Huh. And there was some odd pairings in this freaking tag team tournament, but we'll discuss it when we get there. The first match, the opening match was a quarterfinal tag match in the Deuces Wild Tag Team Tournament. It pitted Team 3D, which is Brother Ray and Brother Devon, also known as the Dudley Boys. But of course, they couldn't use the Dudley name in TNA. But everyone knew exactly who they were anyway, and they were facing off against the odd team of Sting and James Storm. So yeah, it seemed like, and the big story here is that James Storm didn't want to even get tagged in. Sting was pretty much doing all the work trying to fend off Team 3D here. Yeah, Storm may have been in there at the beginning, but for the majority, I noticed he was out in the ring apron the whole time while Sting was trying to clean house.
Beer.
While Sting was dealing with both Ray and Devon. Right?
No.
And of course, as we know, near the end of the match kind of deteriorated. Referee just decided not to give a shit or anything else. The Dudleys or Team 3D brought in the table. And that's when Sting got tired of freaking James Storm's shit, because James Storm was cheering on the apron saying, yeah, put Sting through the table. or he was up in the corner saying that, and then Sting was like, "Screw it, I'm gonna put you through the table, bitch." Right?
Yeah.
So Sting freaking lifted freaking Storm off the turnbuckle and slammed him through the table, and then Devon covered Storm to win in advance to the semifinals.
Oh no, he didn't lift it. He just fucking tossed his ass off the fucking turnbuckle and just fucking laid his ass onto the fucking table like that.
Yeah, giving Team 3D the win when Devon pinned Storm to win the match. Thus having Team 3D advance to the semifinals. It was a good little short opener. It told the story you needed to tell. Your thoughts on this one?
It was good.
Yeah, it was alright. Was this the best match that Sting ever competed in? No, it wasn't. Was it the worst match Sting ever competed in? No, because we already covered that one. Right? But, you know, I thought it was good for what it was. It kind of... The chaos breaking loose in the end, it was alright. I wasn't really expecting these tournament tag matches to last very long in length either, so... I had to take them with a grain of salt, right?
Yeah.
When it came to my scoring of these matches. Yeah, and then we go on. I think we had a backstage interview segment with Frank Trigg in the back?
Yes.
Cage fighter, whoever that is. Sorry, I'm unfamiliar with him.
UFC fighter.
UFC fighter, I'm unfamiliar with his work. I don't really watch UFC that often. But either way, by the way, after that little interview, we go back to the ringside where we get to the second quarterfinal match, and it was the team of Rhino and Christian Cage taking on the odd pairing of Booker T and Robert Roode. The reason I say Booker T and Robert Roode were an odd pairing here is because those two were feuding in the months prior to this event.
Yeah.
And you know, it was kind of back and forth for the most part, but I only remember, to me personally, I only remember the ending real well, and that was when Rhino won by freaking tackling Rude to the ground, probably with a gore or whatever. But afterwards, and I think freaking Booker T cost Rude the match as well, just like we seen in the previous match. After, like, you know, a back and forth tag match with a little dissension between Booker T and Robert Roode there. Right?
Yeah.
Of course, Booker T after the match freaking raised Christian and Rhino's arms up in the air, signifying their victory. Only for Booker to grab a steel chair and attack both of them after the match. And I'm just like, okay, he's gone rogue.
Yes.
So, yeah, this one I really wasn't a big fan of, but I felt like it was maybe a little bit under average, below average. Your thoughts on this tag match?
It's interesting to see Booker T and TNA for a while.
Yeah, I know. Booker T debuted in TNA in late 2007 after his WWE contract expired after his King Booker run. But yeah, Booker T had way better matches in TNA. And I would just like to envision that Booker T attacked Christian with that steel chair as revenge for what happened hell years prior in another event that we reviewed.
Actually, that was the motivation for that. He even said that.
Because we all know what happened at Bad Blood in 03 in a different company at that point. Yeah. But I don't think that had anything to do with it, but it is what it is, alright? And yay, with that, we talked about a Christian match, and yeah, with that, Christian's Intercontinental Championship defense run on this channel has come to an end after 3 weeks.
No, it won't.
Well, we got one more, and I think we have at least one more Christian Intercontinental title defense to go to talk about, and it's probably the best of them, in my opinion at least. But until we talk about that one, we got the three here already. Right? But you know, Rhino and Christian Cage defeating Booker T and Raw Rude, they did nothing wrong. I mean, in this 7-minute match, back and forth tag match, they told the story they needed to tell, but it just fell flat. It could have used a little bit more, if I'm being honest. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Of course, the attack after the match with Booker attacking Christian and Rhino with a steel chair helped the matters. Helped it a little bit, but not much.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then next we got a quarterfinal match, the third quarterfinal match with LAX taking on the odd team of Matt Morgan and Kip James. Kip James, a.k.a. Billy Gunn. Right. And once again, this one I really wasn't into. It was a short match. It was a short one here, probably the shortest of them. Shortest tag match on this card. Of course, LAX was accompanied by Hector Guerrero, or the late great Eddie Guerrero's brother, and isn't it oddly that those two looked alike?
Well, he had three brothers.
Yeah.
He had Gory Jr.
No, you had Gory Jr. You had Gory, Chavo, Hector, Eddie.
Chavo Sr. And
Yeah,
Hector.
Yeah. Yeah, you had Gory, Mondo, Chavo, Hector, Eddie. Damn.
Yes.
And when I say Chavo, I mean Chavo Sr., the one that that's known famous as Chavo Jr., Eddie's nephew. Right?
And Hoobie.
Yeah. That's Guerrero, but still, whatever. But this one was a really short match. I really wasn't into it, but near the end, Morgan missed a bicycle kick on Hernandez. And freaking Morgan accidentally nailed Kip in the face, or Billy Gunn in the face, whatever you want to call him. Hernandez then nailed Morgan with a drop kick. And freaking Hernandez covered Kip or Billy Gunn to win the match. This was a really short tag match. Nothing really in between noteworthy. Your thoughts on this one?
Okay, this was right after he had gotten released from WWE, where he took BG James's name and became Kip James.
Yep. But yeah, your thoughts on this short 4-minute quarterfinal tag match with LAX winning?
Was it 4 minutes? I thought it was 3 minutes.
Well, 4 minutes, 3 minutes. Either way, it was short. Not enough really time to take note of anything good or into. I mean, all 4 men did what they needed to do in the match, but it just didn't feel like, I know it was a quarterfinal match here, but it just didn't feel pay-per-view worthy to me. Your thoughts on it?
It was a decent match, I guess.
Me, it felt there just be there. Of course, it is a tournament match. You really can't ask much from them. But 4 minutes, at least they could have gotten 6 or 7. But no, we didn't get that. Right?
Yeah.
And then we go to the last quarterfinal tag team match of this tournament here, which you want to talk about odd and bizarre. We had AJ Styles and Super Eric, your favorite incarnation of Eric Young.
No.
And they were taking on the odd pairing of BG James, a.k.a. the Road Dogg, and the Knockouts Women's Champion, Awesome Kong. You see what I mean by weird? You see what I mean by weird pairing here? Right?
That would have been hella funny to see fucking BG James and Awesome Kong win the tag team titles.
Oh, I bet you were secretly hoping for that.
Yeah.
Of course, we got to talk about before the match, AJ Styles was actually interviewed backstage, and that's when Kurt Angle, who's injured, by the way, did not compete at this show, went up to Styles' face and said, "Are you the one sleeping with Karen?" Starting that whole dang story. Talking about his wife at the time.
Yes.
In which Styles argued back and forth. AJ Styles pretty much said, "I ain't telling you. Go figure it out on your own," or basically what he said right before he walked out. Right?
No, he's like, I'm not going to dignify that with an answer.
And of course, we all know who was the real one sleeping with Kurt Angle's wife at the time, because, well, she got a real life divorce and ended up being with Jeff Jarrett anyway. Right? In the future.
Yes.
No, not too distant future after this.
Well, I say she downgraded, but yeah.
Oh, and at one point in this matchup, yeah, I remember this. At one point in this match, with, Super Eric and AJ Styles against Kong and BG James here, yes, I do remember when Super Eric picked up the massive freaking awesome Kong and slammed her into BG James, who was lying on the freaking mat in the ring. I'm not going to say any jokes. I just remember that one. And there was also another sequence where AJ Styles tried to do a sunset flip on the awesome Kong, who just sat down right on his chest. 2 count. Right?
Yeah, he tried to sunset flip, and what happens? She squashes him.
And if you had any thoughts at that point, keep them to yourself.
Imagine if she farted when she did that.
Oh, if that was the case, how the hell would AJ Styles kick out?
Well, you're getting it wafted. You're getting freaking Awesome Kong coming down at you, and then you get a little cheek sneaker out, and that gets wafted coming right down at you.
Yeah, but then the end of this matchup came when.
I'm not making fun of her, guys. I'm just saying, what if? Because that could have been a possibility, but that didn't happen. I'm just saying, what if?
I know, and I know you ain't.
It would have been even hilarious. It would have been even more funnier.
Yeah, and I know you ain't making fun of Awesome Kong because you do realize the real life Awesome Kong probably whipped your ass. You're like, oh, I know, right?
Yes, I'm just saying that what if that would have been funny because just imagine AJ Styles getting squawked and then farted upon. I'm like,
that's what knocked the phenomenal one out.
That would have been hilarious to me.
But
I might digress.
But after somewhat of a little bit of a comedy in this matchup, the end came when Road Dogg or BG James or whatever you want to call him lifted Styles.
BG James at that time.
Yeah, he went to go perform a suplex on the Styles, but Styles freaking counted into a small package pin, which resulted in a 3 count. And Super Eric and AJ Styles advanced to the semifinals. Your thoughts on this one?
It was a great match.
Not the best match AJ Styles have been in. But it was something. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And in the next match on the card here, there was a lot of matches on this card, was the debut of the Terra Dome, which is basically a big round cage structure with a roof on it, and the way to win is to escape out of the friggin' Terra Dome itself.
Yes.
Or cage structure itself out through the top by climbing out of
Jim Cornette. It was Kaz.
Yep. It was Alex Shelley versus the participants in this match was Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin, Consequences Creed, who is better known today as Xavier Woods, by the way. Curry Man, Jay Lethal, Johnny Rave, Jimmy Rave, Johnny Devine, Kaz, Shark Boy, and Sanjay Dutt.
Yeah, the knockoff version of Stone Cold Steve Austin for Shark Boy.
I forgot about Shark Boy having that gimmick. Is that sad? And then when he came out to that, I'm like, God damn it, I remember that now. Jesus Christ. Right.
He's still Shark Boy.
And of course, the winner of this would be the number one contender for the X Division Championship. But before the match got started, management director Jim Cornette came out to announce the winner will not only be the number one contender for the TNA X Division Championship, but the winner of this match would also be Kurt Angle's replacement in the Triple Threat main event later on in the show. Which brings a whole new dynamic to this cage, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, there was a lot of like crazy spots in this, and a lot.
And we had Black Machismo, Jay Lethal.
Oh yeah.
Which was a knockoff to Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yes. And I'm sorry, but with all the gimmicks that Jay Lethal had in TNA and all the accomplishments he had, is it bad that nowadays modern wrestling fans only remember that freaking segment he had with Ric Flair? That
when he was imitating Ric Flair and beating up his jacket?
Yeah, and they were going woo, 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 back and forth. You know the moment I'm talking about. Right? Ugh. But anyway, there was a lot of escape attempts, a lot of high flying maneuvers, and that only these X Division competitors can do. And of course, the cage itself was used as a weapon with the wrestlers being smashed up against it. It was just total insanity. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, before I get to the end here, what spot really stood out, or what spot stood out to you in this one? If you remember.
Let's see. Kaz did a reverse flex capacitor.
Yep.
Fucking Johnny Devine did a friggin' hurricane run a power bomb off of the friggin' steel cage.
Which that looked impressive. Oh, and at one point near the end, freaking Devine.
They all had to wear gloves because when they were testing out the Terror Dome with all of them by themselves, when not taping, they got their hands cut up.
Oh yeah. So yeah, all of them had to wear gloves for this one. Yeah, and then at one point near the end, Devine was trying to escape, but Kaz intervened, stopped him, causing Devine to fall from the ceiling into the group of wrestlers in the center of the ring. Before making his escape, I think one of them tried to scale the freaking cage to try to stop him, but they were too late in doing so. Right?
Sanjay Dutt.
Yep. And Kaz climbed out the hole at the top of the cage and won the match that way. So now Kaz is going to be in the main event, and he was the number one contender for the X Division title at the time.
Yes.
So anyway, your thoughts on this? I mean, I know I didn't go into it in detail. We didn't go into it in detail, but your thoughts on this Terror Dome match?
It was a match.
Crazy match, but it was a match. to me, it was the best match up to this point. Mm. But you know, it was okay for what it was. It's not no Hell in a Cell or anything like that. But you know, it was something interesting. That's all I gotta say, right?
You know.
Of course, after the cage structure was taken down, we go on to our next match, which was the semifinal one of the semifinals matches in the tag team tournament, which saw Christian Cage and Rhino take on Team 3D. Yeah, and this wouldn't be the first time Team 3D crossed paths with either Christian Cage or Rhino. I mean, hell, this was their sixth encounter in TNA at this point between the two teams, and
Well, Rhino had debuted with Team 3D too.
I mean, yeah, Team 3D and Rhino cross paths, I believe, in ECW, and obviously Christian Cage's history with Team 3D or the Dudleys in WWE is well documented, right? And hell, even Rhino got involved in that tables, ladders, and chairs match at WrestleMania 17. So they've saw all four men cross paths, even in the same match at one point before TNA, as we know. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention this, but did you take note of Christian Cage's theme song?
Yeah.
You know what the instrumental version of that theme song is, right?
Yes.
And yes, we all know Christian Cage's freaking theme song in TNA was the instrumental version of My Last Breath from Evanescence, which is a banger, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, it was fun hearing that theme song here for this show. And of course, halfway through the match, or near the end of the match up here, after a good back and forth, neither team had the advantage because both of them had one match prior. And obviously, I think Christian and Rhino were the worst for wear, considering they got attacked by Booker T in the steel chairs earlier.
Well, they were worse for wear because they were in concussion territory. They had the steel chair wrapped around their goddamn heads by Booker T.
Yep. Of course, it was near the end of the matchup, or halfway through the match. Team 3D associate Johnny Devine came out to try to assist freaking Team 3D here. Yeah, and then freaking Devine handed Ray a freaking kendo stick, but Rhino.
He got double stomped into a table by Hector Guerrero.
Yep. That was for later on, right? Yeah, and then freaking Rhino.
It was right after he gave Bubba Ray the kendo stick.
Yeah. Rhino scored Devon, went for the cover, but Devine entered the ring to distract the referee's count, allowing Brother Ray to enter the ring and nail freaking Rhino with a kendo stick and cover Rhino for the 3 count. A little bit of outside interference and cheating on the part of the Dudleys here, or Team 3D here.
Yeah.
But, you know, and the story they were telling was Rhino and Cage were concussed, obviously putting the match in jeopardy after the steel chair attacks, which obviously they lost because of that, and interference didn't help their case either. So, your thoughts on this one?
It was a good match.
Yeah, and with this win, Team 3D advanced to the finals of this tag team tournament here. I thought it was okay for what it was. The interference kind of lowered my score a bit, and obviously all 4 men had better matches. Hell, they probably had all better matches against each other too, obviously. Right? This one just didn't do it for me, if I'm being honest. Right? And of course, we go to the semi.
Well, you couldn't see Rhino and Christian Cage get any fucking momentum at all because they were literally concussed.
Yeah. So yeah, they
It
were.
made it even worse. Bubba Ray freaking or Bully Ray put the kendo stick up against Rhino's head because that even made it even worse, and that gave a couple months off of wrestling.
Yep. So yeah. Anyway, I thought it was okay-ish, but you know, the interference and the blatant cheating lowered my score a bit from average. Anyway, we go on to the final semifinal match. Oh yeah, and by the way, after the match, Bubba Ray was, or Bully Ray, or Bully Ray, or whatever you want to call him, was already posing with the championships, despite the fact they have to win one more match. All right.
Yeah.
And of course, that being said, we go to the final semifinal match here between AJ Styles and your boy Super Eric against LAX.
It wasn't my boy, it was your boy.
Yeah, and of course, LAX had Hector Guerrero and Salinas in their corner. Yeah.
No.
Salinas, aka Shelly Martinez, if you remember who that was. Right?
Yeah.
And yeah, during the matchup, Hernandez lifted Super Eric up and held him upside down vertically for an extended period of time before slamming him back first into the ring with a delayed vertical suplex, right?
Yeah.
And of course, another spot later on in the matchup, after some hot tags back and forth action, Styles actually had Hernandez in a small package pin, just like one in the last one, I believe. Only for Selena to freaking distract the referee. A lot of referee being distracted here. You'd think they would know better. But this allowed Hector Guerrero to enter the ring and readjust Styles and Hernandez, so Hernandez made the pin on AJ Styles, which the referee counted, despite AJ Styles clearly not being on the mat. Shoulders not clearly being on the mat. And LAX won the match anyway. In advance of the finals to face Team 3D. I know I just went through this briefly and only talked about the ending to the match, but was there any spots that stood out to you, or your thoughts on this match in general?
AJ Styles' shoulders were on the mat. He got splash.
Well, to me, it looked like freaking Styles' freaking shoulders were not on the mat, or at least one of them wasn't in that leverage pin.
They were, because he got border tossed and then got frog splash and was covered. And God damn it, what was his fucking partner's name?
Hernandez, Homicide.
Homicide.
Yeah.
He freaking was holding up his legs, which made it look like his shoulders weren't.
Yeah, and that freaking small package pin attempt.
Yes.
And I'm just like, huh? To me, it just looked confusing. I'm like, the shoulder, there's a big gap there. You could clearly put someone's head between the mat and his shoulders at this point. God damn. But either way, whatever. LAX wins, goes to the finals to face Team 3D. Yeah, another short time match, but you know, it is what it is. I'm not gonna complain about it, really. Especially when we got this next match to talk about. Whew. which was the TNA Knockouts Makeover Battle Royal, where the winner would become the #1 contender for the TNA Knockouts Women's Championship.
And which had Roxy Lobo.
And we also got to mention this
Waka
too.
Khan.
Yes. Okay, it was Angelina Love, Christy Hemme, Gail Kim, Jackie, OBD, Salinas, Raka Khan, like you said, Roxy, like you mentioned, Tracy Brooks and Velvet Sky. And this is one of those battle royals that's not a traditional battle royal. You know how when you think of traditional battle royals, the way to win is to eliminate all your opponents over the top rope? Well, they have a special stipulation where the last two in the ring would have to fight in a ladder match. Right?
Yes.
To get the contract to become the winner and number one contender for the champion Knockouts Women's title, and also the runner-up of this match had to have their head shaved bald. Unless, of course, the runner-up was Gail Kim because she won immunity, and that would mean the second person, or not the runner-up, but the one that lost before them had to have their head shaved. So either way, somebody was getting their head shaved at this event, right?
Yes. And we all know that you were jealous of the middle rope with Angelina Love and Velvet Sky's entrance.
It's like, no, I wasn't. That was you. Anyway, I'm not going to go through elimination here. But, you know, I will say, I will just briefly mention the eliminations in order here. Salinas was eliminated first, followed by Velvet Sky being thrown over. Tracy Brooks was the next one out. Christy Hemme was then gone. Raka Khan was then the next one eliminated. Jackie Moore, one of the favorites in this match, was eliminated, and shortly after ODB was also eliminated, another favorite of this match. And then we had the last three participants were Angelina Love, Gail Kim, and Roxy. And
the next to be eliminated right after ODB was actually simultaneously, or just a few minutes after ODB was Angelina Love.
Yeah, Angelina Love was eliminated. And right when Angelina Love was about to go to the back, the referees pulled her over and be like, no, you got to sit in this barber's chair just in case freaking Gail Kim loses to Roxy. All right?
Yes.
And everyone was cheering at the speculation that a member of the beautiful people will get her head shaved bald. Right? So then we go into the ladder match portion of this between Gail Kim and Roxy here. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and at one point, freaking Kim flipped over Roxy, grabbed her around the legs, and slammed her onto the mat, or powerbombed her on the mat back first. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Roxy's head nailed like the side of the ladder, or something happened because Roxy's head was busted open. Right? Hard way.
She got clipped by the edge of the ladder.
So yeah, Roxy was busted open. Yeah, but then Roxy still kept fighting back, attempted to climb the ladder, only for Angelina Love to interfere, pushing the ladder over, causing freaking Roxy to fall off the ladder, and then the beautiful people interfered, both of them, taking out Roxy here, and then freaking Angelina Love grabbed Gail Kim and was like, climb up the ladder now. Right? So Gail Kim climbed up the ladder and grabbed the contract to win the match. And of course, after the match, the beautiful people attacked Gail Kim, but Gail Kim fought back, but then the reality set in for Roxy here, right? Yeah. And with all the other knockouts surrounding it, Roxy had her head shaved bald. And yes, the blood on her head actually gave it a nice touch. If you want to call it a nice touch, knowing she was the voodoo queen, right? Character.
Yes.
And while that was happening, the beautiful people were just sitting there mocking freaking Roxy's head shaving. Your thoughts on this one?
It was a good match. It sucked that it ended with Roxy LeBeau, or the Voodoo Queen, losing. which made her form Voodoo Kin Mafia.
And if you ask me, this is just my thoughts. Roxy was one of the few women that can actually pull off the bald, short hair look, just because of her character, right?
Yeah.
At the time, right? And I'm not saying I want this to happen, but I've seen those edited photos rolling around, and I have to say, in the current day, I believe the only woman on the current WWE roster that could pull off a bald look would be freaking Rhea Ripley at this point. That would make her look more intimidating. Not that I want to see that for real. I'm just saying that based on those edited photos we've been seeing on Facebook a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway. But anyway, I thought it was okay. I mean, the latter portion at the end was a unique spin on the friggin' Battle Royal concept, right? Something that we don't see usually. So I'm like, okay, this match was unique in its own right. I thought it was good for what it was. And it brought out a whole new character in Roxy anyway after this moment. Like you said, with the Voodoo Kid Mafia stable, right?
Yes. Which was Roxy LeBeau, BG James, and Kip James.
Yep. So basically, it was Roxy.
Which they had a war. It was VKM versus VKM.
So basically, it was the TNA tag team of Roxy and the Outlaws that formed after this, if you want to put it that way.
Yes.
Just under a different name, under with the Outlaws being under different names, right?
Yes.
So yeah, and then now we go to our semi-main of this show, which was the finals of the Tag Team Deuces Wild Tag Team Tournament for the vacant TNA Tag Team Championships, which saw Team 3D take on LAX. And of course, Team 3D had Johnny Devine in their friggin' corner, while friggin' LAX had Hector Guerrero and Salinas in their corner, right?
Yeah.
And this one was obviously the longest tag match of this tournament here. Both teams wanted to be the champions. Hell, Team 3D made their entrances and for like the third time in the show, and Bubba again was posing with a championship, saying 20 times, because at this point they were going after their 20th tag team titles overall as a team, right?
21st tag team titles, but yes.
It's like, yeah, well, still. Team 3D had more championship reigns than Ric Flair had. Supposedly. Even though I think Ric Flair had more world titles, it was closer to like 30. They only count 16 of them. Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, after a good back and forth, both teams were desperate to win, breaking up pinfalls, going back and forth with the advantage here. Divine getting involved, Guerrero getting involved, but at one point, Team 3D set up the table on the outside, which obviously Team 3D, the Dudleys, were known to do. And then Divine tried to interfere. Actually, no, Divine tried to interfere by setting up the table for Team 3D on the outside. By the other way, there was a table involved in it. Guerrero stopped him and attacked Divine on the outside of the ring, placing Divine on top of the table, and then Hector Guerrero freaking climbed up the turnbuckle and pretty much did a diving foot stomp on Divine through the table, like you mentioned earlier in the show. Right?
This was that was during the Christian and Rhino and Team 3D. It was when he got, or whatever, I don't remember. I don't give a shit anymore.
Well, we're almost done talking about this match. After we're done with this review, I'll think about this match again anyway.
It was one of them. I know that he got fucking put through a table. Johnny Devine was the least interesting fucking person of the team, anyways.
Yeah, and then Team 3D tried to perform the 3D for. It's like bringing Homicide down to the mat, falling with a cover, but the referee refused a count, though Homicide was not the legal man. Not that that should really matter, because we've seen tag matches in with the legal man being pinned, or not, or the illegal man being pinned. So why?
Yeah.
And the referee for this match was Earl Hebner, so this was another screw job.
Yeah,
Yes, I remember Earl
it
Hebner
was your
the
boy
referee.
Earl Hebner.
Yeah, I remember that clearly. Yeah, but then Hernandez got back in the ring, performed the border toss on Devon, and then Hernandez went for the splash. It's like went up to the top rope, nailed a splash on Devon for the pinfall win. Thus, LAX became the new TNA World Tag Champions. Your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, it was okay for LAX. Was it their best match? No. Did they have better? Yes. Was it Team 3D's best match? No. Did they have better? Yes.
I thought it was okay for what it was. It wasn't the best match on this card, but it was good for what it was. Seeing Johnny Devine get put through the table, though, was satisfying to see. But despite that, I thought Team 3D was going to get the win here, but oh well. There'll be other TNA shows where they win the tag titles, I guess. All right. I gotta mention this too. This is the first time I've seen this freaking event as well, obviously. And then the main event, of course, we get to the main event, which was for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, or TNA Championship, whatever you want to call it. It was TNA champion Samoa Joe defending against Scott Steiner and all of his Steiner maths, knowledge, and Kaz, the replacement for Kurt Angle. And of course,
Well, he had Miracle Leaf, Petey Williams, and Raka Khan with him.
yeah, Steiner did. And Petey Williams was a Scott Steiner clone. At this time, there's no getting around that, right?
Yeah.
And of course, this match started off with Joe and Steiner going at it, but you know, then Kaz started getting involved too in this match. So Kaz went at it, or Joe went at it with Kaz, and Steiner went at it with Kaz as well. And during the matchup here, Joe was in control of Kaz and Steiner, putting them in various submission holds, which each time were broken up. And Steiner managed to get the best of Joe by putting the Steiner recliner on him, but Joe escaped by lifting him up in the air onto his shoulders, back body drop. This was a Steiner's Feast or Fire cash-in match, by the way. Right?
Yeah.
And, yeah, then Kaz freaking jumped off the turnbuckle and drop kicked Steiner, which admittedly looked impressive. Steiner didn't even see that one coming when he was in control, right? And you gotta think Kaz was the worst for wear here because he competed in one hard-hitting match earlier in the show, right? Yeah, but then later on, after the matchup, Joe dove through the second rope onto Steiner, but Steiner countered by hitting Joe in the head with a steel pipe. Which I don't know why the referee had to be distracted for that. There's no DQs in a triple threat, but I digress. Right?
Well, in a triple threat for the TNA title, yes, there was. It was still regular stipulation.
Yeah, but usually there is no DQs in a triple threat, period.
Not in TNA.
Oh yeah, I forget getting different company. And even a lot of people say that was BS, that rule. Right?
TNA at that time had their own shit that they were doing.
And of course, Kaz at this point tried to perform the flux capacitor on the Steiner, but Steiner countered it by pushing him off.
Steiner muscled him down.
What?
Steiner muscled him off.
Yeah, muscled him off right into the ringside area, knocking freaking Kaz out. Then Joe got back in the ring, kicked Steiner in the head, and then Joe then muscled freaking Steiner up and performed the Muscle Buster, his finisher, and then got the pinfall win to retain the TNA Championship.
Well, Kaz tried to do the flux capacitor twice. The first time, Steiner muscled him all the way down to the mat, got a 2 count. Steiner then also hit the Frankensteiner,
Yeah.
went back up to the top rope, which Kaz tried to hit another flux capacitor, which he muscled out of, threw him to the outside, and then Samoa Joe comes running in and kicks Steiner in the head.
Yeah, and then we see in the friggin' Muscle Buster maneuver from Joe, and Joe pinned Steiner and Joe pinned professional mathematic teacher Steiner
Yes.
to win the match and retain the TNA Championship. Your thoughts on this main event here at Sacrifice?
It was a good main event.
Yep. And after...
What also was this the start of Scott Steiner turning more heel? Yes. Was this also the start of Sting turning heel, Booker T turning heel? Yes. This is also the point where they started to form together with Kurt to form the main event, which was Scott Steiner,
Sting, Kurt Angle.
Booker T, Sting, and Kurt Angle.
Yep. Oh, and we had a big...
Because everyone at this point was not giving respect to Sting, Steiner, Booker, or Angle.
Oh. And after many months of hearing the meme and seeing the videos on the Steiner math promo, we finally got an answer. It wasn't Scott Steiner. It was Samoa Joe that had a 166% chance of winning. I bet you're like, God damn it. I just had to add that. I know, I apologize. Not really. But anyway, now we go on to what I call our favorite portion of the review, and that's our rating system here. Team 3D defeating James Storm and Sting in the quarterfinal match. I gave that one 3.5 out of 5.
Four.
Christian Cage and Rhino defeating Robert Roode and Booker T. I gave that one 2.5 out of 5.
3.
LAX defeating Kip James and Matt Morgan. I gave that one 3 out of 5.
3.5.
AJ Styles and Super Eric defeating Awesome Kong and BG James. I gave that one 3 out of 5.
2.
It's like I enjoyed it more than you. Why'd you give it a 2?
Because the other team should have won.
It's like... Kaz.
No, I just didn't really enjoy seeing AJ try to beat up on Kong.
Yep. It's like Kaz winning the Terradome Steel Cage match to become #1 contender for the X Division Championship and to be Kurt Angle's replacement in the Triple Threat main event. I gave that one 4.5 out of 5.
5.
Christian Cage, Team 3D defeating Christian Cage and Rhino in the tag team semifinal match. I gave that one 3 out of 5.
3.5.
And LAX defeating AJ Styles and Super Eric in the tag team semifinal match. I gave that one 2.5 out of 5.
3.5.
And Gail Kim winning the 10 women Battle Royal ladder match to become the #1 contender for the TNA Knockouts Championship, resulting in Roxy getting her head shaved bald. I gave that one 3 1/4 out of 5.
I gave it a 5 out of 5 because they all gave their best. Yes, it sucked that Roxy LeBeau lost her hair, but this was also the turning point that made her even more darker to go after the beautiful people more.
Okay, I'll give you that argument right there. And the finals for the TNA Tag Team Championship, with LAX defeating Team 3D to become the new TNA Tag Team Champions. I gave that one 3 3/4 out of 5.
I gave that a 4.
And lastly, Samoa Joe defeating Kaz and Scott Steiner in a triple threat match to retain the TNA Championship. I also gave that one 4.5 out of 5.
I gave that a 5 out of 5 because all of the competitors gave their best, and Scott Steiner could have won that. He really could.
I mean, like you said, he was the one that had a 166 3/4 chance of winning, but that didn't happen. And my final grade for TNA Sacrifice 2008 as a whole, I gave it a B.
It's like a B plus.
So yeah, that was our thoughts on TNA That's our thoughts and our review of TNA Sacrifice 2008. So
now it's my turn.
Yeah, I hate that evil laugh. I really hate that laugh, but I know you're gonna fucking torture me in some way, shape, or form. Even though I proposed a pay-per-view that wasn't that bad. I really hate to say this, and every time it's your turn, I really hate to ask this, but what are you gonna make us watch for the next classic pay-per-view review next week?
Oh, we're gonna watch your favorite pay-per-view.
We already watched WrestleMania 17, so I don't get what you think is my favorite pay-per-view.
Oh, we're going to be watching one of your favorite matches. It is going to be.
Hey! Before you answer that, if it's what I think it is, fuck you in advance. Fuck you in advance if it's what I think it is, motherfucker. I already lived through that shit last week. I don't need to see it again.
It is.
Go fuck yourself. God, why are you making us watch Over the Limit 2012? I know that's where your head's at.
Yeah, just Over the Limit 2012. Your favorite main event is there.
Go fuck yourself. I had enough John Laurinaitis from last week. When you made us review No Way Out 2012. What is your obsession with crappy matches? And crappy stories?
Because we all know that it's your. How did you know it was going to be 2012? Fucking Over the Limit. I didn't even do my fucking bit.
When you said something about it's your favorite match, I had flashbacks to last week. That's why I had to stop you. Because I even said at the beginning of the match, I do not want to relive that match. That match was shit. At least we got a good match between Daniel Bryan and CM Punk from that show.
It is 2012 Over the Limit. With your boy John Laurinaitis versus Cena.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I know that show. I know we're going to be watching that show next week, but I'm letting everyone know right now that John Laurinaitis versus John Cena match will get a score of 0 from me. Mark my damn words.
We all know that you were anticipating picking this event all this time.
I would have rather taken Extreme Rules 2012. At least that show was good. This show you're making us watch next week was garbage.
I'm kidding. It's fucking Extreme Rules.
You already said Over the Limit 2012. You hypened it so damn much.
Yeah, no, it is Over the Limit. It's because it's for your favorite main event for fucking John Cena versus John Laurinaitis.
Oh boy. And you know what?
Towards the end of People Power.
And you know what? Because of that, I might freaking pick something else. I might pick Extreme Rules 2012 just so we can complete the stupid freaking 4-show fucking shit.
I'm trying to get over the fucking bullshit because I know you were gonna pick it anyways.
Because we did WrestleMania, we did WrestleMania 28, we did freaking what was it? No Way Out 2012, and now you're making us do Over the Limit. So there's only one show left in the 4-show section, 4 pay-per-views that he was around as a general manager of both shows. and so the Extreme Rules 2012 was actually a pretty decent show. But who knows? That may be my next week in 2 weeks, or it may not be. I just know eventually we got to do that show. But fuck you for making me watch Over the Limit 2012. Probably the only good match on there will be Bryan versus Punk, and that's it. Ugh. God damn it! Why must
we all know that you were very happy that John Laurinaitis won.
I got 3 words for you. Go fuck yourself. Oh,
that's
boy.
4 words.
No, yourself is 1 word. But anyway. Is it bad I had to do some thinking on that? I'm like, wait a minute. No, it's 1 word, goddammit.
Mental Steiner math. It always works.
It's like the word yourself is not freaking 2 words, it's 1 word. We're not. This isn't Sid English we're talking about. Imagine you taking Sid English and Steiner math. Jesus Christ. And I'm more of a man than you, and I have half the brain that you do. Wait a minute. That sounded weird. Then you'd be like, oh, so you're admitting that I'm smarter than you. Okay.
Yes.
But anyway, fuck you in advance. Over the Limit 2012 is our next week's show because this asshole just wants to torture me. I seen Over the Limit 2012 when it happened on pay-per-view. That's the only time I seen it, and I vowed even back then when I was like, 19 years old, that I never wanted to watch this show again, and now you're making me watch it again. "13 years after the fact. Go fuck yourself, asshole."
I know you wanted to watch it so bad. I could just hear it in your voice from the last review.
That one that gave it all. I'm the one who said fuck that main event. God damn it! Why do I got to be reminded about it on this show? What part of that makes you think?
To see it.
What part of that makes you think, oh, he wants to see it? No, you want to see it because
Hey,
you
but
just
we
want to
also
hear my
get to see
reaction to it.
the,
You want to hear me butcher that whole damn match and bitch about it next week. That's what you want.
a little bit, yeah. But we also get to see the battle royal for that Christian Cage won,
Yeah, the Battle Royal.
and then we also get to see the fake out that that everyone thought that he was going for the he
for
wanted to Tino,
for the
but
US title,
then
but-
decided to go for the Intercontinental Championship.
Yes. And then we saw that great match between CM Punk and Daniel Bryan. So there's that one for the WWE title.
And then we saw your favorite main event.
Laurinaitis couldn't even main event a pay-per-view in 1985, let alone he shouldn't have never main evented one in 2012 either. Change my mind, you can't, because that match was garbage. And sometimes
we get to
in
see
that
the
match,
least
literally garbage.
we get to see the least impressive brother of Animal.
What?
We get to see the least impressive brother, John Laurinaitis.
Against John Cena.
Yes. With interference heavy main event.
Yeah, with the stipulation being if anyone interferes. If anyone interferes, they get fired on the spot. Well, the person who interfered was not in storyline an employee. Which set
We
up
had
that cage match
David
the following
Otunga
month.
interfere too.
Yeah, which set up, and because of that giant interference, that set up the cage match that we reviewed last week.
Yes.
So yeah, next week we'll be reviewing Over the Limit 2012. Riptidz, you can go fuck yourself, and we will talk to y'all later. Peace.
Deuces.